If I could pull one main point from the parable of the tenants, it would be Jesus is going to judge the wicked. And I know out of the gate, our flesh may rise at this thought. Many love to hear about the love of Christ, but not so much about the wrath that is coming. Here is the simple truth all must come to grasp. We all were born enemies of God. Look at how humanity judges God. There's no regard. There's no love for him or fear of him. Most value man over God and live for their approval over the God who made them. Most prefer their lust and their worldly enjoyments before him. Look at the natural desires of humanity's souls. No one takes naturally to God. By nature, humanity finds God and his attributes repulsive. This explains why men and women will not have much to do with God and they keep him at their distance. Look at the will of humanity. The will of God and the will of man are set at odds with each other. What God wills, humanity hates. What God hates, humanity desires. Psalm 2:3 clearly states this. Let us burst God's bonds apart and cast away his cords from us. In other words, humanity wants to control their own destiny. Look at the affections of humanity. Look what rises up in the heart. The quarrels, the blasphemous thoughts. The heart is like a viper spitting poison at God. Temptation shows what is in the heart of humanity, and it's disgusting. Look at the actions of humanity against God. God can't be touched, but humanity does what they can to hurt him. They oppose themselves to God's honor. They persecute his people, and they seek to thwart his work in this world. What is to be done with such people? Jesus is asking you and I the same question when we read this parable. He asked, tell me, what will the owner do when he returns? What is the proper response to such wicked and inexcusable behavior? And we all would reply the same way the Pharisees did. He will put those wretches to a miserable death and lease out the vineyard to other tenants who will give him the fruit in their seasons. Here's the reality. Wrath is coming on those who reject Christ. Christ is offering humanity an invitation into his kingdom. It comes by turning from the world and believing in the atoning work of Christ, and then following Jesus with all you have. The greatest privilege is to have the kingdom of God entrusted to you. The greatest sin is to reject that kingdom. The greatest destruction is to be crushed by the kingdom of that very Christ who is offered to you in salvation. The judgment of God is not to be taken lightly, because God is not to be taken lightly. The God who offers salvation is the God who will judge later. If you will not have him as your king in this age of grace, you will have him as your judge when you stand before the throne at final judgment. Bow now or bow later, but every person on this earth, past, present, and future, will bow their knee to Jesus Christ when this is all said and done.